Hi everyone, my name is Travis, and today we're going to talk about the EU Parliament elections that will be happening in about 2 weeks. Currently, the EU Parliament elections have around 7 different political groups, which generally mirror the average political landscape of a generic European country, plus or minus some differences. So, who are these main players in the European Parliament? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Currently, the largest political group in the European Parliament is the European People's Party, or EPP. This is basically a big tent of the political right. Its main ideologies generally consist of Christian democracy, conservatism in general, and neo-liberalism, while also being generally quite pro-European Union. The average voter of this political party might be a bit older and is probably Christian and might also be more middle class or more just more conservative. The political group is currently led by Manfred Weber, who is an MEP from Germany and has been leading the party since 2022, who also succeeded Donald Tusk, who is currently the Prime Minister of Poland. Other big names in the party includes Roberta Metsola, an MEP from Malta, who is also President of the European Parliament, and also Ursula von der Leyen, who is the President of the European Commission. Currently, the largest political parties within this group are the German Christian Democratic Union, or CDU, the Spanish People's Party, and the Italian Forza Italia. Now, the second largest political party is the S&D group, or Alliance of Socialists and Democrats. This party, as the name suggests, represents the broad center-left of the European Parliament. And the people who historically voted for this party are the working class. You know, your metal worker, your plumber, the hands-on kind of people. Even though the party historically represented the working class, it has since also expanded more and included people who are more interested in LGBTQ plus rights, or feminism, or migrants' rights. Basically becoming the broad center-left and including not only socialists and social democrats, but also progressives. This political group also emphasizes the expansion of social safety nets. For example, raising taxes and in return funding healthcare services, social housing, and other social safety nets. The party is currently led by Irache Garcia, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, who is an MEP from Spain and has been representing the party since 2019. The main political ideologies in the S&D group are social democracy and progressivism, but it's also very much in favor of European integration. Currently, the largest political parties within the S&D group are the Socialist Workers' Party in Spain, the Social Democrats in Germany, and the Democratic Party in Italy. Now moving on to the third largest party, that would be Renew Europe. Now, Renew Europe represents the broad center. So what does that mean exactly? Well, they support centrist politics.
You don't say.
So basically, people who vote for parties that Renew Europe tend to vote for political parties that are pro-free market and tend to be okay with reducing taxes, even if it means reducing social safety nets. But at the same time, they tend to lean more progressive, where they would be more interested in feminism and LGBTQ plus rights and other progressive issues, and they tend to be more individualistic. The main ideologies that fall under Renew Europe are liberalism and centrism, but also it's in favor of European integration. The party is currently led by Valérie Hayer, a MEP from France, and she has been leading the group since 2024. Some of the largest political parties that are represented under Renew Europe are the Resistance, which is Emmanuel Macron's political party, the Free Democratic Party in Germany, and the Citizens Party in Spain. The fourth largest political group is the Greens and Free Alliance. Now, this is a more broad political party. As the name suggests, it's also a pro-environmentalist political party. However, it also has a lot of regionalist political parties under its wing as well. One of the largest Euro parties within the Green Free Alliance is the European Green Party, which, as the name suggests, is pro-environment. And they also tend to be anti-nuclear and also quite progressive. Politically, they can also fall under the center-left, similar to the S&D group, where they are in favor of having larger social safety nets, but with the environment in mind. There is the Free Alliance Party, which is the regionalist and pro-independence parties around Europe. An example of this would be the SNP, which is a Scottish nationalist party and pro-independence political party in Scotland. Even though they're not in the EU anymore, it's still a good way of looking at them, as the SNP was a former Free Alliance member. Apart from that, then there's the Pirate Party, which this one believes in pirate politics. What does that mean exactly? Political parties that associate with the Pirate Party are pro-copyright reform, pro-freedom of information, and they also tend to be more progressive. And then there's Volta Europa, which is the main pan-European European party. This tends to be a more moderate political party, as it's more focused on pan-Europeanism and turning the European Union essentially into its own country. Those are the pro-EU parties, but then there are the more Eurosceptic groups, the largest being the European Conservatives and Reformists, or ECR. This tends to represent the political right of the European Parliament. Political parties that fall under this group, they tend to be more conservative. They tend to be in favor of a more competitive EU market, such as free trade and all that. But at the same time, they are more Eurosceptic in the sense not that they want to leave the European Union, although some of them do express their wishes, to want to preserve the sovereignty of European countries by having a more weaker European Union as a more political union rather than a confederation of states. European parties that fall under the ECR tend to be more socially conservative. But the ECR is also split into two different groups. The ECR that we talked about, and then there's the European Christian Political Movement. Now this represents the Christian right, and with that it tends to also be socially conservative. The largest political parties within ECR are Law and Justice in Poland, Brothers of Italy in Italy, and Vox in Spain. Now the second largest Eurosceptic group in the European Parliament is Identity and Democracy. This tends to represent the political right wing or far right. They tend to be more nationalist and anti-immigrant, while also being quite socially conservative. This political faction tends to be quite controversial, especially since some of the parties have a pro-Putin lean, and also have very identitarian or even fascistic ideas, although they might not represent the majority of people in Identity and Democracy. Some of the largest political parties within ID would be Lega in Italy, National Rally in France, and the Alternative for Germany in Germany. Then there's the European Left, or also known as the Left in the European Parliament. This is technically a grouping of 5 different European parties. The main ideologies in the European Left is socialism, communism, and even anti-capitalism, while also being generally anti-EU, or at least Eurosceptic. The main reason they might be more Eurosceptic is because they view the European Union as a neoliberal institution that cares more about companies than workers. And this European group tends to be to the left of the S&D group, where they might see the S&D as more moderate. Some of the political parties that join the European left can be essentially social democrats who put more emphasis on the working people, and others might be completely anti-capitalistic and want to do away with the capitalistic system. The largest political parties within the European left are Die Linke in Germany, French Unbound in France, and Podemos in Spain. Also, something to note about the European left is that they have another Euro party known as Animal Politics EU. This tends to be a more pro-animal political party, where they're focused on animal welfare and just animal rights. And with that, they also tend to be more pro-environment. Those are the main 7 political groups in the European Union. However, there is an 8th one, known as the Non-Instricts. So what do they believe in exactly? Anything. Non-Instricts essentially is just the unaffiliated. Either political parties are too small and fringe to belong in one of the main groups, or was a member of the group, but then for one reason or another they left or got kicked out. As you can tell, they don't really have a coherent ideology, as it's political parties from the far left and the far right. However, some examples would include Fidesz, which used to be a member of the EPP but then got kicked out, the Five Star Movement in Italy, and Junts in Spain, which is a Catalan party. So those are the main political parties in the European Parliament, or political groups should I say. That's all I really have to say, and once the results are published, I will do a recap, which will basically be a sequel to this video, talking about who won and who lost. So until then, see you later.